Hello, I'm Leonardo Blake. I'm 61 years old and I'm a homosexual. Was that alright?
Yeah, that's good.
I went to an all-boys school, which is something I hated at the time, but came to love.
You went to a boarding school, didn't you?
Yes, a private all-boys boarding school. Again, I was sadly by parents at my home, but I had more important, exciting adventures before me. The year was 1966. Puberty had hit, and I was horny as hell.
When did you hit puberty, if you don't mind me asking?
Around 9 years old, I believe. I was an early bloomer. It was a fateful day in the summer of '64, when I was playing in my room and one of my toys hit my downstairs area. And suddenly it got hard. I did it again and it felt good, so I kept doing it and doing it and doing it until bang! My whole body exploded in pleasure. It was like a firework display in my honor. It felt amazing. My first orgasm. And I went back from there.
So at school, did you get a chance to experiment with other boys in your school?
Well, yes. But I had to be careful, for if you were caught, it would be an automatic dismissal, which would bring shame on your family and could even mean a prison sentence. I knew a boy in my dorm who snuck out one night to go and sleep with another boy. This happened a few times, but like Romeo and Juliet, this was not to be. The boy was caught and instantly expelled from the school, and his family, which I believe were rather wealthy and noble, were now shamed. There was this one boy at my school who I thought was very attractive. His name was Thomas. He was the sporty type and enjoyed nothing more than kicking a ball around a field. But I knew he could never be mine, as I was more into the arts than into sports. But one day I went down into the sports field with my pad and pencil and saw Thomas playing rugby with his friends. I sat down on the wall and started to draw Thomas. I looked at his strong, masculine body and those gorgeous, muscly arms and sweat running down his beautiful, hunky face, and it turned me on. It fueled my work and I drew and I drew. Seeing him wrestle other men also tickled my fancy. After the match was over, he came over to me. I was shocked. He wanted to see my drawings. I was too embarrassed to show them, but I did, and he loved them.
So did anything happen between you and Thomas?
Oh, yes. It turns out he was also a homosexual, and he found me equally as attractive as I did him. This was a time before the makeup and the flamboyant dress. I was young, I was sexy, and he loved it. In school we slept in dorms, so if you wanted to get more intimate, a broom cupboard or a classroom would have to suffice. But it was 1969, and it was a hot summer. I had been with a few men before, but none like this. During our free period, we snuck out into the woods, which surrounded our school. We found a nice secluded spot, and he put down his blanket, and we made hot, passionate love. It was the first time I was ever a bottom. It was painful at first, but I soon got used to it, and started to enjoy it. He was so gentle and passionate, and it was such a horny, passionate affair. As I've said before, I love the world of fantasy. And this was it. We were like ancient Greek gods in paradise. I laid back and I was in ecstasy. This was not the only time me and Thomas ventured into the woods. Until I left in 1973, me and Thomas ventured into the woods at least once a week. I fell in love with this gorgeous jock. But it was not meant to be. He got a good job, he entered the family firm, and got married to a woman called Sharon. I, on the other hand, did not allow myself to be controlled by others. I got a job in London, moved out of my family house, and started my life of independence and liberation.